Welcome to Cat Eye US Stock. We watch markets with calm focus and sharp instincts. Andrej Karpathy is back, and he's sounding the alarm on a massive shift in how we work. In this deep dive, the former Tesla AI chief lays out why he thinks we've already moved past the era of traditional software engineering. It's no longer about typing syntax into an editor. It's about expressing human will to a fleet of autonomous agents. From the future of research to the death of the mobile app, Karpathy is sketching out a new paradigm where the most important skill is no longer your ability to write code, but your ability to orchestrate intelligence. This isn't just a tech update. This is a fundamental reorganization of the digital world. So why is he working 16 hours a day just to keep up? Let's dig in. Imagine being one of the world's elite programmers and realizing your own hands are now the bottleneck. Karpathy describes his current state as, quote, AI psychosis. This 16-hour-a-day obsession with just expressing his intent to agents. He says that since December 2024, he's barely handwritten a single line of code. The shift went from roughly 80% manual work to almost 100% delegation, basically overnight. And here's the punchline. If your code doesn't work now, he says it's usually a, quote, skill issue, meaning you just haven't learned how to properly chain agents together or give them the right memory tools. We're moving from being builders to being architects of intent. Mastery in the AI era looks nothing like it did before. It's not about writing a slightly better function anymore. It's about what Karpathy calls macro actions. Here's the setup. You delegate feature A to Agent 1 and research task B to Agent 2 at the same time. Your real job? Review the outputs, adjust the plan, and keep the whole thing on track. That creates a new competitive metric, token throughput. Karpathy says he actually feels nervous when he has unused subscription credits, because if the tokens are idle, it means he, the human, is the bottleneck. We are now the binding constraint. To win in this market, you have to learn how to paralyze your will on command and manage a swarm of intelligence at the speed of thought. Why do we still have 6 different apps for our lights, our music, and our AC? Karpathy's take is simple. They shouldn't exist. He built a personal agent he calls Dobby. Dobby scanned his home network, discovered his Sonos speakers and lighting systems, then reverse-engineered their APIs using web searches. Now, he controls his entire house through a single WhatsApp window using plain natural language. This is the, quote, agent-first internet. In this world, the classic, quote, user experience layer is basically dead. Companies stop building apps for humans and start building APIs for agents. The whole software world gets compressed into a single intelligent interface where the AI does the clicking, the scrolling, and the tapping for you. The ultimate leverage is a machine that improves itself. Karpathy's auto research project is built to remove the human from the scientific loop as much as possible. He turned his agents loose on a code repository, and they found optimizations that he, after 20 years as an elite engineer, had completely missed, and he pushes the idea even further. He treats entire research organizations as code, written in markdown files. If you can define a role or a workflow in a file, you can optimize it with AI. We're building a system where the, quote, researcher might just be the person who hits go, while the AI iterates, experiments, and improves at a scale no human team can match. Current AI is jagged. Karpathy points out that you can be talking to a system that writes world-class CUDA kernels 1 second, and then it suddenly sounds like a confused 10-year-old the next. Because of that jaggedness, your most important skill is no longer knowing the answers, it's knowing how to verify them. Agents thrive in domains where things are verifiable, where you can run a test and get a clean pass or fail. They struggle with nuance, with fuzzy intent, and with knowing when to stop and ask for clarification. So to succeed now, you have to become a validator. You're the one who builds systems that catch the nonsense while still riding the wave of the agent's superintelligence. Mastery is knowing exactly where the rails end and making sure you don't step off by accident. Will one, quote, God model rule the world? Andrej Karpathy doesn't think so. He predicts what he calls speciation, a future where AI branches out into specialized species for different niches, more like the animal kingdom than a single super oracle. We don't need an all-knowing system to optimize one tiny piece of math code. Instead, we'll see smaller, highly efficient models that are cognitively core, but tuned for very specific jobs like lean mathematical proofs or material science simulations. This unbundling of intelligence makes AI cheaper, faster, and more effective for each industry. The era of a single all-knowing monoculture is fading, and the era of specialized swarms is just beginning. What if the world's most powerful AI lab wasn't a company, but a swarm? Karpathy sketches a kind of blockchain-like model for research. Picture this, an untrusted pool of workers all over the globe, contributing code and experiments. Finding a working solution is hard, but checking one is easy, so a central, trusted node can quickly verify thousands of crowdsourced ideas. This swarm intelligence could tap into the planet's entire compute budget to go after problems like cancer or climate change. In Karpathy's vision, you don't donate money to a cause, you donate FLOPS, floating point operations. A global asynchronous agent network like that could eventually outperform even the biggest frontier labs. Is your job safe? Karpathy dug into the data and found what he calls a massive overhang. Anything that lives in the digital world, anything that's just flipping bits, will start to move at the speed of light, and that means a total refactoring of digital professions. But the world of atoms, the physical stuff, is going to lag behind. He points back to the Jevons paradox. When you make coding cheaper, you don't end up with fewer coders. You end up with an explosion in demand for custom, highly specific, short-lived software. And here's the dark irony. The researchers at places like OpenAI and Anthropic, the ones building this tech, are actively trying to automate their own jobs. We are racing to build the ultimate automation engine for every human task. Will all AI power end up in the hands of just a few giant companies? Karpathy is betting against that. He's a firm believer in the, quote, Linux of AI. Yes, closed models like GPT-4 are in the lead right now, but open source models are closing the gap, sometimes within just a few months. He argues we need a common, open platform that everyone can trust. If we centralize intelligence into a handful of closed oracles, we create a systemic risk the world just can't afford. Karpathy's ideal is a balanced ecosystem. Closed labs push the Nobel-level frontier, while a robust open source layer handles most of the world's day-to-day work. That power balance is the only way to keep AI healthy, decentralized, and aligned with everyone's interests. We've watched AI master chess, Go, and code. So why isn't it doing the laundry? Karpathy's line is blunt. Atoms are 1,000,000 times harder than bits. Digital AI can be copy-pasted instantly. Physical robots need hardware, factories, and huge amounts of capital and conviction. So he expects a weird in-between phase. Information markets. Imagine an AI agent paying a person $10 to take a specific photo in a specific city to verify a single fact. In that world, humans become the sensors and actuators for the digital superintelligence. We're the bridge between the digital Borg and the physical world, the hands and eyes for an AI that can think, but still can't quite touch. Traditional education is quietly dying. Karpathy says he's basically stopped making tutorials for people. Instead, he explains concepts to AI agents. Why? Because once an agent truly gets it, that agent can turn around and teach any human in any language at any skill level, with literally infinite patience. This is agent-mediated education. The expert's role shifts from lecturing to infusing the bits of unique intuition that the model doesn't have yet. The AI becomes the ultimate personalized tutor, reshaping the entire world's knowledge to fit your brain. We're staring at the end of documentation as we know it, and the beginning of a world where you learn everything through a digital mentor. As AI scales up to true global impact, the question becomes, who do you trust? Karpathy closes by talking about the conundrum of the frontier labs. Being inside a place like OpenAI gives you front-row access to the future. But it also comes with financial and organizational pressures that can limit what you're allowed to say. He suspects that some of the most impactful work will actually happen outside those walls, where independent researchers can act as a check on centralized power. We don't just need 2 or 3 CEOs behind closed doors, we need ensembles of people in the room, with different perspectives, making these calls together. The quote, loopy era is here, and Karpathy is choosing to stand out on the edge, making sure the rest of us understand what's coming next. Thank you for watching Cat Eye US Stock. Stay curious, stay calm, and we'll see you next time.